Welcome back to Global LGBTI Politics. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke about the Rio Olympics and the outing of a number of LGBTI athletes and the kind of dangers about talking about people in the media and being careful about the security of those people that we report upon. So something similar has now happened. Last week, Wikileaks produced a number of cables which named a man who was arrested for homosexuality in Saudi Arabia. This kind of has all happened in the eve of a meeting with the Secretary of State from the US, John Kerry, with the Saudi Arabian government. As you can imagine, there's been a huge outcry from LGBT activists, not just in the region that's affected, but more globally, that by actually releasing this information, they've compromised not just the safety of the man in question, but also those people that associate and those people around him. So it's quite a dangerous situation to be in. We can also argue that the reason this was leaked and became a public story at that point was to put pressure on the Saudi and the US government to talk about the human rights record of Saudi Arabia, which is quite poor during the visit. But again, this is basically another one of those examples where activists that ostensibly are on the same side and pushing for human rights are putting forward something that will embarrass and kind of bring them, the Saudi government to the table, but actually hasn't taken into account the safety needs and the priorities of the organisations and individuals operating in those countries, with dangerous results potentially. Since its launch, Wikileaks has gained quite a mixed reputation globally, both with individuals in the public and with governments, but it's done a lot of things that have been in public interest. So a couple of things that spring to mind would be the exposure of the treatment of prisoners in Guantanamo Bay, or the public knowledge that the US has been spying on parts of the German government, including the telephone of Chancellor Merkel. But I think this particular example speaks to me about them needing clearer processes of ensuring that they've thought through the implications of what they're releasing. So if you are looking at this situation we talk about now in Saudi Arabia, they shouldn't just be looking at what the political implications be for Saudi Arabia and the US governments in the kind of negotiations they're having around human rights, but it should be looking at the impact it will have on other parts of the ecosystem, the individuals that are actually named in it, or the organisations that may be tarred or targeted as a result of that. I don't think they've been doing that at the moment, and so I think they need to basically go back again and look at their release system and their kind of almost like the peer review that's taking place of the stuff they're releasing. If you've been watching a few of these videos now, you're going to realise that Western thoughtlessness in the way people are talking about and conducting international LGBTI kind of politics is a real bugbear of mine. I think what I find problematic is that for 6 years plus we've been having quite a concentrated conversation, and even beforehand, about this particular issue, and yet these problems are still persisting both within and without LGBTI communities. So I guess my questions really for us collectively are, how can we start making this ethically unacceptable behaviour? Should we be calling out individuals who are doing this, say on their Twitter feed, or media outlets, or even LGBTI kind of activist organisations? So I really would be kind of keen to really hear what everyone else thinks about this. To that end, I'm really keen that we start having more of a conversation, so this video channel is a little bit less of just me talking all the time, but it's starting to have a conversation. And that's starting to happen because the audience is growing. We have 76 subscribers already to the channel, around 70 people on Facebook who are following the conversation too. So I'm really interested, if you've got an opinion on this matter or you want to challenge me on it, if you could drop a line to the Facebook group or the comment section below here, or even onto Twitter where I am as well, which is @StephenWood_UK. It'd be great to start having more of a conversation about how we can actually make changes in this rather than me talking about it every few weeks. Thank you very much for listening, and talk to you soon.